everybody. This is Soulful. Welcome back. Today, I am hanging out with Jeremy, and he is the lead singer, and he's also a musician, plays instruments, and mixes music. And he is the headliner of, the head of Wormhead, okay, the band Wormhead. And you guys can check them out down below, okay? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay, of Wormhead. All right. So we're going to find out what drives his creative vision, how long he's been into music, and we're just going to have a discussion here and get to know him and what he does, okay? And you guys know that I like creativity here on my channel, so let's welcome Jeremy. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so your band Wormhead, is Wormhead the first band that you've ever had, or?
No, it's not the first, but I think the longest one.
How many years?
Um, I th it probably started like when I was 16, 17. So, um, maybe since like 2010, I would say.
Okay.
Everything before that was just kind of me just messing around. And then I guess I formed a band.
Have you always been creative? Have you always made music?
No, I haven't always made things. It came kind of later.
Okay. So I see behind you, you have a lot of paintings, and this really drew me in. And I know if you guys check out Jeremy's Instagram, it'll be down below in the description box. He's also a painter. Okay. He's an artist and he has some awesome skills. So are some of those paintings back there yours? Like, are all those yours, or?
Yeah, yeah, they're all mine.
All right. Okay. So, guys, if you like any of that artwork you see back there, go check out his Instagram because I've been following him for quite some time and I really like his work. It's very unique. And have you been painting since you were young, or into
Uh,
art?
no, not that either. I used to draw, but painting came like I want to say around the same time music did.
Around the
But
same
I always
time?
thought like really hard and like something that I might not be able to do. So I didn't really dabble into that until later. Drawing was easier.
Okay. So do you feel as though like there is a synergy there between the painting and the music? Do we make a connection between both of those?
Hmm. I'm sure there is. I mean, I definitely go off of imagery whenever I'm making music. Um, and then the paintings, I feel like kind of, I guess they do go hand in hand, um, in like a different way. I listen to a lot of music whenever I'm painting, so there's music involved in that. As do
Okay.
you, I think. So you
Yeah,
listen to music.
yeah, I do. I do that. Which I find is quite curious because when Justin, he was the last person that I interviewed, his project Music Plus Art, it was the opposite. It was, when he contacted me, he creates music for art. And I was like, oh, I remember Jeremy, he does the same thing. I do that as well. But it's opposite. So I was just like, okay, I gotta get Justin on here and then Jeremy, because for me, I was like, that's a really cool kind of thing that's that's happened there. And
Yeah, yeah.
but I recently bought their newest album. Okay, Wormhead's newest album. You guys should go check out the collector's edition because Jeremy packed it with a whole bunch of goodies. And inside there was small mini pieces of art. Okay, there was a mini piece of art in there and also a print of one of his actual pieces of art that you can see on Instagram. And that's when I was kind of like, okay, so what my question is, what inspired you to put that box set together and include your art with it?
Um, I think we just wanted to make kind of a something that would go further than the music, I guess you could say, kind of like a
Mhm.
companion piece that would go along with the album. And yeah, we just wanted to make something cool that we'd like to see, which is usually what I end up doing.
That's cool. That's cool. It's very unique. You don't see that anymore. I'm going to be honest. You don't really see people putting together albums, collector's editions with all that stuff unless they're really being really specific with it. And what I really like about your art, about it's that you can tell that your emotion is put into your work, and that's really about your music as well. And if it's okay for me to say, with my observation, is that it's in your music and it's in your painting, and I feel as though there's a connection there. There just is. And I like that. I like that. I like to see that because that's rare. That's rare. It's unique. And you know, I'm curious, how many albums have you made?
Um, well, like people close to me, like in my circles, know that I've made like probably 18, you know? Like if you want to call them, it depends because some are like shorter than others and some are double, triple
Mhm.
like disc stuff. But I only started really putting out stuff more, I guess, in the professional way with like physical, booklets and things you can um, just within the past 5 years. So we've got two albums and a lot of miscellaneous stuff that you can find more so on online digitally. But before then, there's a bunch of stuff that I guess my closer friends know and things like that, or have copies of. Yeah,
So you like to experiment then, like with your music a lot?
yeah, sure.
Hmm. Okay. So what would you say influences you mostly when you do create music or paint? Is it emotion? Is it your experiences? Because I know everybody has something that inspires them. Is it a flow? What is it for you?
Um, I think it's all those things. I can't really say, that there's a specific one, but yeah, I think it's all that, the flow of it, if you can find a flow. Um, I think, lately it's just the fact that I've been doing this for a while. And generally speaking, I think it's like the idea like where can I go to next? That's always kind of like the motivation behind it, I guess you could say.
You could smile and buy the first. Someday this will not go on. You tell the sun and hides the screen. You will words and blister erase. King of fear in a world that's so much clearer now.
Because I'm inspired by everything, as are I think most artists.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's like where can I go to next, and um, yeah, and then the music kind of just speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And I see not only in your art but in your music like a lot of influences that you may have. Is there any influences of yours that you draw from, when you're creating music or your art, whatever, you know, do you have a favorite type of music? Anything like that, your influences?
Yeah, I think I'm drawn to people that are really thoughtful with their art. You can tell that they put the thought into it.
Mhm.
Um, People that write poetry, um, photographers. Um, yeah, like I was saying earlier, a lot of imagery influences me, like Viggo Mortensen's poems, paintings, and
Oh.
photography stuff. I like that. Then of course like a musical influence. Um, I grew up listening to Tori Amos, the Cranberries, and like Nine Inch Nails and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Marilyn Manson. So uh, a lot of that. Um, yeah.
Okay. So you have, would you say you have more of a like a grunge or alternative influence in your music than say like dance music or anything like that?
Um, I guess so. But even like within some of those bands that are grungy, there's other kind of stuff.
That's
Like
right.
there's things
Mhm.
or all kinds of stuff. But the grunge thing comes up a lot. And I think it's kind of funny. But yeah,
Oh,
I like
why is it funny? I want to know.
because uh, well, we like to joke about it in the band because it's just like an ongoing thing. Um, I don't think we sound grunge at all,
Mhm.
but I like that people, you know, have something that they call it, I guess. But
So you're saying the label, you're trying to, for you, you're more of an
yeah,
experimentation.
like,
Yeah. And the label itself doesn't really lend to what you think, but a lot of people, yeah, people like to do that. You know, they're like, oh, that's that style of music. That's it. But yeah, you do have experimentation in your albums, in your music, from what I've heard. So you can't really pin it down. But I think that what happens, and this is just my opinion, is people hear a guitar, you know, and they go, yeah, that's grunge. And, you know, the style, they say it's grunge. It sounds
yeah,
like that. Um, and you know they relate to the influences, and I can hear some of your influences in the music that you mentioned earlier in some of the groups. But all three of those groups, they have all experimented with their style.
totally.
So you know that's more young. Okay, so I only have a couple more questions. um my next question is, have you ever had, and I asked Justin this in his interview as well, have you ever had any kind of weird spiritual, psychedelic, or strange experience around your creations?
I mean, other than when I'm working on it, hmm, I think that depends on, what you would call nothing crazy has ever happened, but
Mm.
um, I don't know, it feels like a different kind of energy is that works whenever I'm, in the moment working on something at my studio. Um, yeah, I can't really explain it, but
You get like, do you get lost? Do you get lost? You know, that happens sometimes when I draw or write. Um, I can get just really so deep into it where nothing else, like and it just comes out. It's like a flow that is so deep, you know, and you just nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It's
mhm.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. It's there's an actual word for it, but I can't recall what it is
The
right
world
now.
that you live in.
Yeah, yeah. And that, would you say that for you it's kind of like an escape when you do create music?
Um, yes and no. Um, yeah, no, because I feel like I'm always in it, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
always like I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that. But
That's okay. You're fine. You're fine. I think I understand what you're saying. It sounds to me like uh it's just your life. It's your life. You know, it's what your passion is. Yeah? Would you agree?
yeah,
Yeah. Passion. It's all about that passion and how much effort you put into it. And if creativity is you know, as a creative person, and I've been creative since I was like 9 years old, you know, I've been drawing and been to music and writing. And it just becomes like a part of who you are, and you could tell by your environment there and also your music that it is a part of you. And some people, they're disconnected from their art, they're disconnected from the creativity, but it's a part of you. And I
Sure.
can tell, and that's very rare.